As a home buyer, you want to know, hey, if I buy this property, how much is it going to actually cost me? What are my closing costs? What are those hidden fees that I'm not seeing that are outside of the purchase price? In this video, we're going to give you a quick breakdown of all of the closing costs and a typical number that you can quickly calculate on your magic cell phone, just so you will know. Closing costs have to be paid by someone, so they are generally paid by the buyer. However, in some negotiations, you can get a portion of your closing costs paid by the seller, or possibly all of your closing costs paid by the seller. I'm going to give you the pro tip right up front. The pro tip right up front: in the state of Washington, it's about 2.5% of the total purchase price is your closing cost. Next, we're going to break down each one of those closing costs and how they fit in. So a quick way to be thinking about that is, if I'm buying an $800,000 home, you just open the magic calculator on your cell phone and you go 800,000 times 0.025. That's about $20,000 just in closing costs. That is in addition to your down payment. So if you have a 5% down payment, that would be $40,000, and you would also owe $20,000 in closing costs. So in this example, for a 5% down conventional, it would cost about $60,000 to be able to purchase this home. Now, of course, there are zero down products and there are ways to get around this, but that's for other videos. Let's start with the big bad lender. So number one is lender fees. The lender fees are going to be around 1% of the total purchase price, because that origination fee for the mortgage is generally 0.5% to 1%. Then there is an underwriting fee, an application fee, a credit fee, a recording fee, a blah, blah, blah fee. Yes, and when I say blah, blah, blah fee, I'm actually not even kidding. As you get your statement from your lender, you need to compare each good faith estimate between lenders to see what additional fees they are charging you for. Next, what you pay for out of your pocket are the appraisal and the inspection fees. So the appraisal protects the bank. It doesn't protect you, the buyer. It does protect you as the buyer, because the bank's not going to loan more money than the home is actually worth. So if the appraisal came in at $600,000 and your contract's for $650,000, they're only going to loan $600,000. But generally speaking, an appraisal fee is $750, and you pay for that out of your pocket up front. If there's a work item that pops up or an additional inspection item, then they do what's called a 442, and they order a reinspection. And those reinspections range from $125 to $250. Your home inspection on the property is next, and that's going to cost you around $500 to $750. But if we do a sewer scope, that could be an extra $125 to $250. There could be a pest inspection on top of that. That could cost an extra $100 to $500. So see how some of these fees, there's a range in which they are calculated? 2.5 is that total general number. Next, you have title and escrow. Title insurance is something that the bank forces you to get, but it actually does protect you from defects in your title in the future. And escrow is a third-party closing agent. So your title insurance policy is dependent upon the purchase price. The more expensive the property is, the less on a cost basis it becomes. The cheaper one is, the more expensive title insurance is. Title insurance is going to range between $750 to $2,500 depending on the cost of the home. Your escrow fee, generally speaking, is going to be around $1,000 to $1,500 to pay for the neutral third party. Then there's going to be a document prep fee, a recording fee, a notary fee. So when they say, I'm going to send you a notary to your house to sign and you don't have to come into the office, realize you are being charged a fee for that. When you get a copy of the closing statement from escrow, you can see all of the fees that are tacked into it. Make sure you are actually utilizing all the fees and actually read them. I personally have been double charged. I have been overcharged for commission. I have had lender fees be too high. People make mistakes. They fat finger things. And so you just want to double check. Like, no joke, the escrow fee has been on there twice. Just little things. But these little things, unfortunately, at this level of this game, are tens of thousands of dollars if you make multiple mistakes. The next item on the list is what's called your prepaid costs. So that's prepaid homeowners insurance and prepaid property taxes. This can vary wildly depending on the property. A property in a floodplain on a river is going to have higher homeowners insurance than the property in the middle of a field in rural nowhere. The property in a fire zone, could have higher homeowners insurance. A property in a higher crime area could have higher homeowners insurance. What we always recommend is you call your insurance company and you have them give you a bid before you get all the way to the closing table. You want to do that during your inspection process to make sure that you're not buying the one that's had 20 claims filed against it, so you're going to have to overpay for your insurance on the property. When they collect 2 to 6 months worth of property taxes, I also want you to be thinking about something here long term. Yes, they're collecting 2 to 6 months, but your property taxes are also going to go up. So generally speaking, if the previous owner sold the property at $600,000 and you're now coming in and buying it at $900,000, what's going to happen is the assessor over the next 12 to 24 months is most likely going to raise your property taxes. So your current total monthly expenses for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance will most likely go up as the taxes are readjusted to the new higher value. To go back over the pro tips, because this is very important, I want you to get your good faith estimate from the lender, and I'd like you to get your closing statement from escrow. Make sure the lender, what you're looking at are the fees that you're agreeing to pay. Double check escrow statement to make sure that those are the fees that you are agreeing to pay. And it's going to cost you, generally speaking, about 2.5% of the purchase price here in Washington State. I'm Anton Stetner. We work all over the Seattle Metro, helping buyers and investors have fun, play games in real estate, and create awesome deals for themselves and their family. Let me know how we can help you. Hit that magic subscribe button and drop a question or a comment below based on, hey, this is what I'm seeing. This is what I'd like to know more about.